To understand the soul of John Wayne, you must first understand the silence of the stable. Before the Oscars, before the million-dollar contracts, and before the world knew him as the Duke, Marion Morrison was a young man trying to find his balance on the back of a beast that owed him nothing. In the early 1930s, Hollywood westerns were often churned out like factory products, with horses treated as mere props, disposable engines of flesh and bone. But Wayne saw it differently. He was taken under the wing of the legendary stuntman Yakima Canet, a man who taught him that a cowboy who didn't respect his horse was a cowboy who would end up dead. In those dusty arenas of the Poverty Row studios, Wayne didn't just learn to ride, he learned to listen. He learned that a horse could feel the fear in your thighs and the hesitation in your hands. He spent hours after the cameras stopped rolling, not in the dressing room, but in the corrals, grooming the animals, learning their quirks, and forging a bond that would become the bedrock of his career. This was the era of the singing cowboy, a trend Wayne despised. He wanted grit. He wanted the reality of the trail. His favorite horse in those early days, a massive white stallion often named Duke, a mirroring of his own nickname, was known for being temperamental. Most actors refused to ride him. They wanted the safe, drug-sedated ponies that hit their marks and stood still. Wayne, however, demanded the wild ones. He believed that the camera could catch the lie if the horse was too tame. He wanted the audience to see the struggle, the visceral power of a man controlling 1,000 pounds of muscle with nothing but a leather rein and sheer will. There is a forgotten story from the set of The Big Trail, where a spooked horse nearly trampled a camera operator. It wasn't the handlers who intervened, it was Wayne. He vaulted from his saddle, grabbed the rearing animal by the halter, and calmed it down with a low, rumbling whisper. That moment wasn't in the script, but it proved to the crew that this tall kid from Iowa had the horse sense of a veteran rancher. The bond went deeper than physical skill. Wayne saw the horse as the ultimate symbol of American freedom. In a time when the world was rushing towards industrialization, cars, and concrete, the horse represented a connection to the earth that was being lost. He often said that he felt more at peace in the saddle than in any boardroom or mansion. During the filming of the Three Musketeers series, Wayne developed a signature mounting style, fluid, effortless, and commanding, that would be copied by generations of actors but never duplicated. He didn't climb onto a horse, he flowed onto it. This part one of our story isn't just about a man learning a trade. It's about a spiritual awakening. It's about how Marion Morrison died in the saddle, and John Wayne was born from the dust, forged by the hooves of the wild creatures he came to love more than fame itself. As the decades turned and Wayne entered his golden era, the stakes grew higher. The horses got faster, the stunts more dangerous, and the bond between man and beast more critical. By the 1950s, Wayne was no longer just an actor. He was the undisputed king of the genre. But heavy lies the crown. On the set of She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, filmed in the unforgiving terrain of Monument Valley, Wayne was riding a horse named Banner. A fierce thunderstorm broke out, real lightning cracking the sky. While the director shouted to cut, Wayne stayed mounted. He knew that if he dismounted, the horse would panic and bolt into the canyon. For 20 minutes, amidst the pouring rain and thunder, Wayne sat stoic and unmoving on Banner, his hand resting gently on the horse's neck, acting as a human anchor in the chaos. The crew watched in awe. They weren't seeing a movie star protecting an asset. They were seeing a partner protecting his friend. But this life was not without its brutality. Wayne suffered multiple injuries that would have retired a lesser man. Broken ribs, torn ligaments, and bruised spines were the secret cost of his authenticity. He refused stunt doubles for the riding scenes, insisting that the audience needed to see his face in the gallop. This stubbornness led to several close calls. During the filming of Hondo, his horse stepped into a hidden gopher hole, sending Wayne flying. He hit the ground with the force of a car crash. The studio panicked, fearing production would shut down. Wayne, grimacing in pain, simply dusted off his hat, checked the horse's leg for injury first, and then remounted. "The horse is fine. Let's roll," he grunted. This wasn't bravado. It was a code of honor. You fall, you get up. You don't blame the horse. Wayne also had a strict rule on his sets: no cruelty. In an era where tripwires and harsh bits were common to make horses fall or look wild, Wayne was a fierce advocate for the animal's welfare. He famously threatened to punch a director who suggested using a tripwire to make a horse fall during a chase sequence. "If you hurt that animal for a shot," Wayne warned, "you'll have to answer to me." He demanded that his horses be fed the best grain, housed in the warmest stables, and given ample rest. He knew that the magic of the Western didn't come from the special effects. It came from the spirit of these animals. They were the silent co-stars of his legacy, carrying the weight of the American myth on their backs, and Wayne made sure they were treated with the dignity of royalty. The final chapter of John Wayne's life is perhaps the most poignant, and at its center stands a chestnut sorrel gelding named Dollor. Dollor wasn't just a horse. He was the Duke's final companion, a living crutch for a man whose body was failing but whose spirit remained unbroken. Wayne first met Dollor on the set of Big Jake in 1971. There was an instant recognition between the aging superstar and the sturdy horse. Dollor had a smooth gait, crucial for Wayne, whose back and lungs were ravaged by years of stunts and the encroaching cancer. Wayne fell so deeply in love with Dollor that he negotiated a special contract. Dollor would belong to him, and no other actor was ever permitted to ride him on film. It was an exclusive pact, a marriage of souls for the final act of a legendary play. When it came time to film The Shouldest in 1976, Wayne was dying. Every breath was a struggle. Getting out of a chair was a Herculean task. The script called for his character, J.B. Books, to ride. The producers suggested a mechanical horse or a double, fearing Wayne would collapse. Wayne refused. He called for Dollor. Witnesses on the set recall a hush falling over the crew as Wayne approached the horse. Dollor, usually spirited, stood statue still, sensing his master's fragility. Wayne struggled to lift his boot into the stirrup, his face pale with exertion. But the moment he settled into the saddle, a transformation occurred. The pain seemed to vanish from his face. His posture straightened. For those brief takes, he was immortal again. Dollor carried him with such gentleness, such intuitive care, that it seemed the horse was weeping for the man. After Wayne passed away in 1979, the question arose, what would happen to Dollor? The contract held firm. The horse was retired to a life of luxury, never to be ridden by another movie star. Dollor lived out his days as a living monument to the Duke, a creature who had carried the weight of a legend. John Wayne's legacy is often carved in stone and celluloid, but its truest form was written in the dust of the corral. He taught America that the relationship between man and nature is sacred. He showed us that a horse is not a beast of burden, but a mirror of the soul. As we look back on these 33 chapters, we see that John Wayne didn't just ride into the sunset. He rode alongside it, guided by the loyal hearts of the animals he loved. The cowboy is gone, but in the quiet moments of the West, if you listen closely, you can still hear the rhythm of their ride, an eternal gallop across the stars.